Welcome, friends, to the first episode of Sensei Sethlon's Study. So some people that I've been talking to in person and online may know that I've been kind of rolling this idea around for a while now, wanting to do some YouTube videos on covering Project M, the analysis, high-level discussion, that sort of thing. Was hoping to get a webcam and like some prettier stuff for this first episode, but the webcam that I do have pretty low quality, and I had a lot of trouble actually getting it in the correct video format for the video editor that I'm using. So for now, I don't want to put it off any longer. I'm just gonna put this out, and hopefully we'll improve that down the line. So I'm shooting for weekly for these videos. Right now, just like I said, just gonna focus on match analysis. The match analysis I want to do today is the grand finals of the Flex Zone 7. It's Ally versus ProfPro, Ike versus Snake. Both extremely good at their characters, both pushing them farther than most other players have. And it's really really interesting to see these two play. There aren't very many players that have this level of play with these characters specifically. So there's a lot of interesting stuff that happens. So let's get right into it.
So, I apologize in advance. The audio-video quality is not that great since this is using the same video output that the Flex Zone team had used, which was not too impressive, but it's fine for the purposes that I want to do today. Show off some of the smaller interactions. An interesting interaction right there, where let's see if I can get it to come back exactly. Right there. Whenever so Ally jumps backwards to looks like to set up a back air to invade Ally's space. Sorry. Ally jumps backwards to set up a back air to invade ProfPro's space. ProfPro's got center stage, so he's kind of in control of things at the moment. And he intelligently decides to run forward and shield. And the reason why this is good is because if Ally does do the back air, ProfPro shields it, he lands, he grabs him, he punishes. He'll take some damage, potentially throw him off stage for an edge guard, and it could be bad. Ally, though, sniffs this out and double jumps instead, and tries to set up for a cross-up neutral air. But ProfPro reacts really well, and just up Bs, and that controls all the space up above him, so that'll hit Ally clean out of the neutral air setup. Which is a fairly small interaction. Doesn't make too big a difference in the long run, but little interactions like that repeatedly can make a huge difference. And the interesting thing about Snake in general right here, so a lot of Snake's play is based around what you just saw. Most characters, that coming down from the air, are extremely unsafe. Like, it's very difficult for them to actively beat out their opponent's hitboxes. Snake gets around it by instead pulling a grenade. And he pulls the grenade, and this makes it so whenever his opponent hits them, they actually set the grenade off. And this, sets off hitboxes that will damage Snake, but potentially damage his opponent as well. Right here, since Ally spaced really well, and since Ike's sword is so huge, it actually set off the bomb so far away it doesn't even hurt Ally. But taking a forward air at like 85% would normally kill most characters out this far from the stage, but since the grenade hitbox went off and the knockback happens, it overrides the forward air, and instead, Snake is safe. This is a big part of Snake's survivability and his recovery and like falling down from bad situations, which ProfPro does a pretty good job utilizing. Good punish from Ally there. Yep, Ally, actually, for those of you who did not know, he played Brawl for a very long time, was an extremely strong player, and he played Ike himself, so he has a very good understanding and good awareness of Snake's bombs. Kind of clever thing that happened here. So one of the aspects of Snake, so he has two uses for C4. Obviously leaving them somewhere and setting them off, use them as traps. And he can also use them off of like a confirm or shield pressure to stick somebody to basically make it so his next hit kills you. Most snakes, whenever they do set up a C4 somewhere to use as a trap, the instant they have like the smallest possibility of it working, they'll just detonate it because the risk reward, there's no risk at all basically, and the reward is really good. Ally understands this, so rather than try and sweet spot and potentially get caught by the C4 and die, he actually just wall jumps and gets out of there. Professor Pro naturally sets up the C4, and then Ally recovers. Pretty good match from Ally there, breaking out after just a couple of jabs at 130% on grab. And this right here. So, in situations like this, a player's objective should actually be to get to the ledge. You'll see seasoned players do this a lot. Because if you DI in, you could potentially get hit by some aerial in the air. At under 40%, you're going to die. Even if you don't get hit by something like you land on the stage, there's only so many different areas you can tech. Your opponent could just kill you. You could die. If you DI off stage, then you have to double jump to grab the ledge. You could get caught by something like a dack hits to finish you off. You could run and jump in forward air and hit below the ledge. You could run and then just wave dash and grab the ledge and drop with back airs if you're off stage. So the safest option here is to go directly to the ledge itself. There's very little vulnerability. It's the fastest way to get to a safe position. So that's what Ally is trying to do here. He's trying to DI out so he can grab the ledge. But unfortunately, he clips the very edge of the stage itself, edge cancels, and just that very small window of him falling down to grab the ledge is big enough for Professor Pro to detonate a C4 and get the first stock. Yeah, but this is actually kind of an interesting situation because, so again you see Snake setting up a grenade, shielding so that interesting fact, whenever Snake lands, he actually has very little landing lag whenever he's in like the I pulled out a grenade animation, so he can switch to shielding very fast, and that drops the grenade by him. Ike forward air sets it off with the same intention as always to detonate. This time Snake would be shielding, so he actually doesn't take any damage at all, and potentially hits his opponent. But Ike actually has really fast aerial speed, so he can get there while his invulnerability is still going. So it doesn't actually result in any damage. Good neutral air weaving from Ally there. Professor Pro to get some damage off the up throws again. Misses the sticky though. Probably trying to be a reverse there, so he turns around and grabs. Really good conversion off of the random up smash. Trank dart. You see that even now the players are pretty even as far as damage goes. Really good conversion either way could kill either one. And the grenade again, you see. Just a little bit back further. Grenade right here. If Ally had just hit him, then he'd be dead. He's at 120% this high up on a stage like Smashville. Ike's upper will definitely kill you. But since the grenade had the knockback went off, knockback overrode it, dealt damage to his opponent, and he's still alive. So it's a pretty good trade in Snake's favor. And see, like Professor Pro is taking a ton of damage, but so is Ally. And see right here, interesting thing, Ally was waiting for Professor Pro to ledge jump, because that's been an option he seemed to have been taking multiple times. And he's sitting here crouched, waiting. If Snake jumped on with the neutral air, he could crouch cancel it and punish. If he jumped up from his ledge jump and then double jumped, or tried to set up aerials, I could pretty easily beat that from below. Instead, Professor Pro ledge jumps, wave dashes down, lands on the stage, and then uppercuts him before he can react. It's a really good play by Professor Pro. And the random side B from Ike almost actually killing him there. Professor Pro recovering really well. He's really good at the wall techs after detonating himself, whether it be with C4 or grenades, but that back air will still finish him off. Pretty unsafe setup here from Ally. You'll see some players do this sort of thing. Well, they'll run off stage and then double jump to get a back air space low. But since Ike's back air is a quick move, like it just swings and hitboxes are gone, you can't really start it on the way up and fall down on your opponent. And so Professor Pro just ducks underneath and punishes pretty well. Yeah, I like the commentator say there. It actually was a pretty good grab. Good for him off of the down air there. Nice space back air, so he won't be able to get shield grabbed. And this is really good. So, a lot of people, after getting grabbed by Snake, will DI back to try and, you know, like, as that's back is the farthest you can get away from Snake's up throw. So that's, if you want to get, you know, as far away from him as possible, it's technically the right way to DI. But this sets up perfectly for the forward air. Snake's forward air is actually only a spike on the tip hitbox. There's 3 hitboxes, the heel, the middle, and the body. And the middle and the body are actually just meteors. If he hits with those, you can meteor cancel, and you're probably not going to die because it's not an incredibly strong spike. But the heel, on the other hand, will kill you. Pretty good drop zone fair from Ally there. Professor Pro got a fairly comfortable lead as long as he survives, as long as he has. But Ally with a really good job of utilizing his opponent's bombs. It's actually one thing the Snake players do a lot in Brawl is set up bombs on the moving platform and then utilize it as it's just coming back and forth into the fray, kind of in chaotic situations. So Ally, once again, really good at keeping track of where those are, when to use them. It was actually a really unfortunate swing in Ally's favor. Professor Pro had a pretty big momentum. Like, he could have put on a lot of damage, could have survived a really long time, and it might have been a different result. Ally doing a really good job of jumping around and falling with full up aerials to try and deal with the Snake, like Dacus and Snake, the Tranquility Dart. Oh yeah, and this forward tilt spaced and timed really well. It's a little bit below the ledge, and Professor Pro does not sweet spot perfectly. So that finishes him off. So this is kind of an interesting situation to try and counterpick for, because Snake generally wants room to set up his like bomb shenanigans. Give him time to like put down smashes and set up grenades and set up smash charges and like room to poke at people with his side B. But Ike, on the other hand, is a character that moves very, very quickly over large distances. Due to the way that his side B works and how his jump carries so much momentum. He can go like full stage, you see just like that. He was about to drop a forward air on him. But yeah, so it's an interesting choice. Whether or not which character will work out for is kind of hard to say. But yeah, you see Ally doing a really good job of just taking control, and with the tip, even the tip forward air, it hits hard enough that if you DI incorrectly like that, will kill you, especially at 100%. Sticky from Professor Pro. Tries to get the spike to spike him down into the Claymore. Doesn't quite get it. Yeah, in this situation, Professor Pro's kind of desperate. Yeah, he could have set off the C4 a little bit earlier, whenever he was about 100 and up, but it might not necessarily have killed him. And so it was really smart for him to wait. This was really interesting, since Snake is so low whenever he crouches. He ran on the other side of Ike and crouched, and Ally tries to turn around and grab him. It, of course, doesn't work. This is actually a really good option against Ike, because Ike doesn't have quick hitboxes that blow him. He doesn't have, like, the Marthroy down tilt. His aerials are slow. He could jump up and down air him, but as long as Professor Pro is, ready to react, he could easily shield in time. And gets the up B punish off the whiff grab. Doesn't really get too much off of it, but he gets good momentum, good positioning. Ally with really good DI there to hit just inside of the detonation's range, but far enough away that the tech in place would have invulnerability before the hitbox would actually hit him. The interesting quirk of this matchup, that side B, the Trank Dart will have him still slide forward after he side B's him.
Yeah, that's a meteor, and Professor Pro more than ready to cancel that. Yeah, I love. Yeah, I forgot about it. Yeah,
Just barely outside of the forward air range.
does not forget.
Good.
Ooh, the tomahawk grab.
See that again. The tomahawk grab from Ally here.
Apparently does not.
So yeah, he's been jumping up and doing like a lot of dropped aerials like over and over again throughout the last two matches, and obviously been conditioning Professor Pro to just shield whenever he sees him in the air. So really smart for him instead to fastball grab forward air. Gets the tip forward air. This time Professor Pro DIs correctly, so he's going to survive. Does a good job of throwing bombs at him on his recovery. And you see Ally's trying to set up for most of this set. He's trying to set up the fancy side B wall jump and like flying aerials out, but Professor Pro is always spaced in such a way that those wouldn't work. And so Ally instead just double jumps and aborts. Kind of unfortunate SD there, but
Unfortunate, I don't think you wanted that.
we take those.
Yeah.
Unless it's an intimidation tactic.
Could be, dude. He doesn't need to
Yeah, again, good spacing, good movement from Ally, just jumping around, full jumping, dropping with aerials.
Grenade throws it back. It's not gonna really work out for
And pretty difficult for Professor Pro to deal with, because whenever he's moving around on the ground by like just
grab them from Ally, and
left and right, the snake has the Trank Dart, so
how does he confirm these, dude?
pretty good adjustment from Ally.
love that.
Yeah.
Wall bounce.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, so this is another variation of the snake grenade dropping. That's really good.
easiest confirms ever.
But whenever he's coming down with a grenade, so his original trajectory was he'd be coming down this way and he could land with like anywhere within this area. But he B-reverses the grenade pull, which completely reverses his momentum, which means he could land from anywhere from here to like over here. Very, very difficult to cover all that space, especially since you have to be hitting snake and not the grenade. If you hit the grenade as well, it's a trade, which may not necessarily be in your favor. In this situation, I probably would have taken the trade if I could, since Ally has so much lower percent than Professor Pro, but difficult to deal with regardless.
Jumps are so good from Ally. Makes him look super crispy. Ooh, puts himself in a bad spot.
Good dash dance there, baited out the shield, but didn't quite space or time the pivot grab correctly.
Ally is insane right now.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, yep, Ally again showing off how he definitely understands how to use the Claymore.
He's got the sticky now. Let's see what kind of combo he's got going here.
Good side B setups from Ally, trying to get like charge up while he's moving around in the air so we can zoom in.
Ooh, back air, nice. Runs away to avoid the shield grab.
Yep.
Oh, and he ducks the grab again. Ally has to watch out for that.
Good combo from Professor Pro.
Making amazing
Waiting for the perfect moment to set up that C4 to finish the stock earlier than normal.
buttered up aired.
A little bit beyond right now, but this is definitely possible.
Yeah.
Oh, and this right here I want to talk about.
My
Definitely very interesting. So,
Yeah, these guys have been.
Ally sets up this forward smash. Let's get. And obviously, Professor Pro's reaction is the shield. So let's think real quick what options Professor Pro has. He can't roll back. If he rolls back, he goes almost literally nowhere. The forward smash catches him. He dies. He can't roll in. If he rolls in, he's directly on top of like where all the forward smash hitboxes are. He probably dies. He can't shield grab. He's out of range of shield grab, especially because he's leaning back from the forward smash. Like, there's a small chance he could try and grab and like get grab armor, but probably don't want to gamble your stock on that. He could spot dodge, but again, that's kind of a gamble. If there's a small chance he could spot dodge the hitboxes and like punish him with a grab and throw him off stage, get chain grab damage. But if he messes up, he dies. Again, wave dashing doesn't really work. So what Professor Pro does do here is he jumps out of shield, which I think is actually the correct decision. To jump straight up or to jump back, just give up the space. It's okay, you don't need this. You can just go back to the ledge and essentially reset the situation and try and find a safer way to get back to the stage. Unfortunately, Professor Pro tries to jump over it, and it comes down, and these hitboxes go all the way up here, which does not work. Which is actually a spacing that,
Did he know?
but also another option that Professor Pro could do would be just continue shielding. But that could potentially like snap his shield. Like best case scenario, it hits you, you get pushed off stage, and now your shield's lower, and you're still in the same situation you were before on the ledge. But yeah, that is a spacing that that Brawl Ikes actually used to use a lot. Just charging F smashes right there, because it can be pretty challenging to get around sometimes if you don't understand what it is Ike is covering.
So what is Snake gonna do? Like, what's wrong with this matchup?
So yeah, right now Professor Pro has a choice. He can either like he can try and change his game plan and go to a smaller stage, or like another stage that he feels will disrupt the Ike. Instead, he tries to go to Dreamland, which I think is again not necessarily a bad decision. If he can make the stage, since the stage is so big, if he can DI correctly, if he can recover correctly, he could survive to a really long time. I mean, game 1 on Smashville, he survived to like 200% a couple of stocks. And this still not quite sure what the correct decision is to go for size-wise, trying to if his grenade game and long-range zoning and trapping will be better than Ike's mobility on this stage. But you can see right off the bat, Ally once again taking momentum, dishing out tons of damage. Ike really good at that from throw combos. Snake a pretty good weight for the combos that Ike can do. Good tech chase for the Waveland grab. Again, a nice Tomahawk from Ally there, just dropping down instead of back airing and grabbing. He will survive the 4 throw combos at this percent though.
That's sticky, but we're on Dreamlands. That's not gonna kill.
Yeah, we are on.
Downside.
Tries to get the jab grab, but Ally just jumps out of shield.
Yeah,
Very heavy.
it really is. I don't really know what his rationale was here.
I think he really just
Really well spaced up tilt there.
With the Shoryuken,
You
yeah.
see just how far away Ike was.
Oh, and he gets him with the Shoryuken, yeah.
because Snake is just.
So it seems to be working out pretty well so far. The Professor Pro still managing to kill at respectable percents when he's surviving at 150. Trying to do some platform camping here, just drop some grenades and some C4s to get some damage going.
Yeah, it looks like he's
Ally, rare footage of him forgetting where the, the Claymore was at, trying to do the 4 back throw combo and getting caught.
regardless he gets that stock.
Pretty good pressure. Well, the one thing I want to touch on is one of Ike's weaknesses is that his out of shield game is really, really bad. He has like a shield grab, does not have much range, so it's pretty easy to space around that. His jump squat is pretty high, and his aerials all start really slow, so aerials out of shield generally aren't a good idea. Those usually get stuffed by options your opponent has. And because his jump squat is so high, wave dashing out of shield is slower than average. So stuff like this, I think, is actually the situation that Professor Pro should be wanting to put Ally into. But Ally has pretty good reactions, buffers a roll out, and Professor Pro doesn't quite have the knowledge yet of what Ally wants to do to be able to punish it. If he were able to put him in those situations more often, he could probably pin him down better, get some punishment, get some damage off of those defensive options that Ally is forced into.
Talking about, dude, the Dacus after the planting the landmine.
Yeah.
Professor Pro got a pretty decent lead at this point in time. Not one that will survive like 1 or 2 encounters with Ikes, but
All right, whoa, he almost walked right into it. That was
good DI on the back throw, DIing it down in a way so that
I'm not sure. Maybe Wispy blew it up.
Ally doesn't get a follow-up off of it. And really good conversion. Gets the forward throw into the Claymore. Just enough for the C4 to kill. And that actually is pretty low percent. Dying at 135 after the C4 is a low percent to be dying on Dreamland. So it seems like this game plan is working out pretty well.
put that there.
Snake is very fast.
Oh my god.
Being played very quickly.
Yeah, I mean, Professor Pro playing so quickly.
Really good get up attack on the ledge, waiting for Ally to jump up and do his double jump and start the aerial before he starts the attack. Again, a good throw into the Claymore. Tries to get the spike. Guesses that he's going to unleash the side B early and try and go high. But Ally doing a good job of being patient, just going for the ledge, being safe. So this is a thing, again, you would see a lot from Brawl Snake players, is if they're ever on a platform above their opponent, they'll just set the C4 down, full jump up above it, and detonate it. Because this carries very little risk. Since the C4 detonation has a pretty quick animation, and you're so far away from your opponent whenever you do this correctly, if it misses, you know, they had to have given you space. It means you can go, like, he could go to the platform, he could drop back down and set up more C4s, he could go to the ledge and be safe, he could like drop down and try to swing in the stage. He has a lot of options, very, very difficult to cover them all. And so you'll see a lot of snakes do this, because it's just so safe. Yeah, you see just like that, slipping around on the platforms. Even with Ike's really good movement. And so this is actually really good. His ally is spacing it so that his up air is hitting Professor Pro's legs, but not the grenade. So he's still doing damage to him, he's still getting knocked back, and he's not taking the trade himself. But it's pretty difficult. That spacing is pretty hard, yeah, and like with stuff like back air, it can be very difficult to do consistently. Professor Pro with a pretty comfortable lead at this point in time. Again, with the B reverse grenade to land in a tricky way in places you wouldn't expect him to be able to. Good dash chance gets the sticky on the shield. This is actually really, really big because, yep, makes it so. So he grabbed him at 140, essentially 140%. Normally in this situation, Snake wouldn't be able to get anything. I mean, he could like throw him off stage and try and edge guard or like down throw it and get a tech chase, which is kind of difficult. But since he got that sticky when he came down, instead he just dies. And 160%, not a bad percent to be killing people on Dreamland. And Professor Pro again has a really solid lead, like basically an entire stock. Setting up the, you see again, here's the grenade trap where Snake just kind of jumps above you and says, yeah, I'm here, come hit me, you know, you're in a perfect position, I can't punish you. But this grenade will get detonated.
He's definitely got a nice lead against Ally.
Pretty good down air. Yeah, the interesting thing here is Ally probably expected him to pull a grenade, since that's something Professor Pro's been doing a lot, and since he's got such a lead, it's a really good time to be trading, like the chess mentality. If you have more pieces than your opponent, and you do nothing but trade pieces with your opponent, eventually they'll run out of pieces and you won't. So, Ally giving him some respect there. Yeah, taking more grenade damage. Really good up smash from Professor Pro here. Covering, because the Ally's been kind of like trying to do the Snake thing where he's jumping around on platforms and be safe. And this up smash just can hit. Since he can control the arc of the up smash itself, he could have it go straight up just to cover like transitions between the two. He could have it go left to cover this platform. He could have it go right to cover that platform. Very, very good decision in this situation. And that mash, Jesus Christ. So he hits him with the trank, and Ally is at 64%, and he mashes fast enough that he can roll before he gets the forward air. Basically point blank. This is very impressive.
Ally's very fast with that mashup.
Yeah, he's so quick.
Time to play C4 or anything.
Nothing.
Good spacing from Ally. But very good decision here. He could have back aired. Normally that's what you would want to do in that situation, but again, the grenade was there. So instead he waits. Looks like he got caught trying to move out of his shield there. And again, out. Professor Pro spacing well, so he doesn't get caught by that wall jump off the side B. Really, really good spacing on the recovery here, so that the Ally perfectly sweet spotting the ledge. The grenade doesn't, the down smash doesn't actually hit him whenever it exploded.
Yeah, Snake's dude.
He shielded it.
Oh, he shielded it. Yeah, very smart. Very
Pro
smart.
wants the recovery option.
Yep, forward throw. Very hard to react to, very fast, so unsurprising that he doesn't react correctly. Ally gets the finisher.
To grab and he's done.
Yeah, that would be the end. Oh, he just kind of wasted.
Actually, kind of surprising that this grab connected. Crouch cancels the jabs and goes for a crawl tilt, which he actually shields in time. Normally, I'm actually really surprised I grabbed him. Because he was really low from the crawl tilt. The fact that the grab caught him from the ground. I don't know if like there might have been a frame or two where he started doing something else. Maybe that's why the grab actually connected. It's kind of surprising. Yeah, at this point in time, Ally wants to just get him one and done. Wants to finish him off really quick, and he does. So the reason why this worked as well as it did. So a lot of Ally's doing a really good job of, whenever Professor Pro's at lower percent, of getting multiple pummels, so he gets like maximum damage out of his throws, and then randomly throwing really, really quick to catch his DI and give him less time to react and DI correctly. So here, the down tilt pops him up, he gets the jab, he gets the grab, he forward throws really quick, as fast as possible. And at this point in time, Professor Pro's still trying to DI down at him. He wants to get onto the stage, he wants to touch the ground, so he has to double jump back, so he has all of his up air refreshes back. He wants to get back here, so he can't just die randomly. And because he's holding in, he's in the perfect position for Ally to spike him. Similar to Snake's spike, Ike has 3 hitboxes on his sword, like the tip, the middle, and the hilt. The middle and the tip are actually just meteor hitboxes. If he had hit with those hitboxes, then Professor Pro would be able to meteor cancel and he'd be fine. But because he hit with the hilt, it's a spike. And Ally takes it. So yeah, the rest of this video is actually just a loop of the first 3 games, kind of a sneaky thing the guys who were running the stream did to make it so that whenever you're watching Grand Finals, you don't immediately know who won based on how long the video is, since one person's coming from loser's bracket. But yeah, despite the fact that it was a 3-0, I felt like it was a really good set. A really clean showing of what those characters are capable of.
So that concludes today's match analysis. I know a lot of the quality could be improved, but yeah, this is still the first episode. Still getting a feel for the flow of this sort of thing. But let me know what you guys think. Let me know what could be improved, what you'd like to see. I'm not totally sure what I want to do for match analysis for next week. So if there's any particular video you'd like to see, let me know. I know, I'm sure people would like to see me analyze some of my own videos, and I could obviously go more in depth in those ones, since I can say exactly what it is I'm thinking rather than trying to guess the intentions. But yeah, leave a comment, subscribe if you'd like to see more, and I'll see you guys next time.